Hello, Olive Sector, Tailspin here. I'm going to go over my turn 6, which I've already completed. First thing I want to do is, let's say you see a ship coming, and in this case it's a meteor blockade runner. Normally you don't know how many torpedoes he's got on board, and you don't know his armament. You just see this meteor blockade runner coming, and really he's planet hopping, so I have no idea that he's coming anyway, and usually he's cloaked. So what I can do is go to my dashboard, and there's a battle simulator. And you select a ship, you scroll down, meteor class blockade runner, assign it to the privateers. I'm gonna guess maybe he's got disruptors, maybe Mark IVs. Probably not more than 30 torpedoes. I want a ship to counter that. So let's look at my Lokis. How does my Loki do? Federation. Probably going to use X-rays Mark IVs. How does that do? If I click on results, I get the total results of it ran 118 total battles. 97% of them, the right was destroyed. So let's run that simulation. And you can go slow, fast, or just end it. Sometimes I just skip ahead to end it and see what the result is. I can see that he fired 6 torpedoes, I fired 7, and it was, I took damage, but he was destroyed. If I run it again, my shields were still up. Shields still up, and I kind of run through it like this, seeing, okay, chances are, if I fight this meteor, my Loki is going to take damage. Let's bump up my mark to Mark 7 torpedoes. I win. The right is destroyed 99% of the time. If I run that simulator, I can sometimes I will take damage, but most likely my shields will still be engaged. So that's good. That's kind of what that tells me. I'm thinking of putting out a mine layer nebula, so let's try nebula. Nebula kicks his butt because they're pretty heavy ships. Nebula never actually takes damage. I keep my shields up, so that's excellent. What about if I had a Mark IV? Same result, but do I keep my shields up? No, occasionally I get some damage. So ideally, I want a nebula with Mark 7s to deal with these guys. And my Lokis probably want Mark 7s too. So I do that kind of stuff when I see a ship and I'm not quite sure what armament I want to put on my ships. So I produced a Heartbreak Kid. Oh, sorry, Loki. Let me back up a sec. So that, based on the simulators, that informed me that my Loki and my Nebula will do well with Mark 7 torpedoes. They won't take much damage at all against meteors. So I'm building them with no torpedo launchers. When I built it, I chose the Nebula hull, I chose my Max engines, and I chose X-ray lasers. Now I'm the Federation, so I can refit this stuff later. So that's me. It's not everyone. And I did not select a type of torpedo. In fact, this where it says count here, 4 of 4, you can click on that and reduce how many launchers you're putting on, or same with beams, you can reduce the amount of beams you put on it. But I want 4 beams, and I want no launchers. Oh, build. Alright, there it is. Now I did that because I know that I got money coming home, and I'm going to put that tech up, and I'm going to build launchers for those, for both my Loki and my new Nebula that's coming out. And I don't know if you remember last time, but I sent this medium deep space freighter this way to scout. I changed my mind and sent him back because this guy's coming. Now, this is interesting, and I want to point this out because sometimes you only need to send one ship toward an enemy and it changes what they're doing. So instead of scouting, I turn around because I gotta upgrade my ships to be able to fight him, just in case he comes in here. So one ship can make people change. Can make people defensive. It can make them start laying minefields all over the place because they're scared of you. So it doesn't have to be just the privateers. It can be any. You can send one probe in here. You can send a fascist. Could send 1d7, or robots could send a cat's paw, and they could throw their entire empire into defensive mode, which is often good because it gives you time to develop and it makes you attack. So that is one tactic you can use against another player, to send one ship to them, to throw them off, to change their tactics, which is what I did. I had to do. I knew privateers were lurking, so I got that Loki out, and I'm getting a mine layer out, and I redirected my scout to get money so I can upgrade my mines. Completely changed my strategy. So this guy grabbed supplies, grabbed money from this planet. He's going to go build some mines on these other planets. And he's grabbed some minerals and the money. It's heading home. That's my home planet. These guys, last turn, I had them both land in the same spot. And I did that on purpose because if someone spotted them from far away, say him, he would only see one. It would kind of only look like one dot, so he might not really pay attention to it as much. It's just a simple tactic. You also can't really tell which way these large deep space freighters are going. If you're really monitoring my movement anyway, you can figure it out. But it's just a little bit of extra disguise of what you're doing. My new starbase is building. I actually had enough money to produce, and minerals to produce, a Quantum Drive 7 medium deep space freighter. And why I chose Quantum Drive 7 is because if I use this tool, the measurement tool, you can push the button or just press M, turn it off and on. If I use the measuring tool, I measure from here to here, 22 light years. That's a warp 5. 34 light years is warp 6. Warp 9. Oh no, that's warp 8. Warp 7 gets me there. Once I'm over here, warp 7, these are all easy to get to. This one to home is warp 8. This one to here, 40 light years, so that's warp 7. 42 is warp 7. So a lot of the distances between these planets are less than 49 light years, which means a warp 7 can travel between them on one turn. So I was pleased that I was able to produce a medium deep space freighter with Quantum Drive 7s. So I'll be able to start immediately getting these planets going, because I have factories being built. This is what I mean by I want factories here. So I decided to build factories. And that's what I was trying to say earlier in the game about deciding and making a choice of I want factories here as opposed to factories on every single planet. Honestly, I don't feel I'm an expert in economy to say that should be the rule at all the time, but I think you should at least weigh in on whether or not you should have them there, whether you need them there or not, because it does cost money and supplies to make those, and time going out there to make them. So I think you should think about it rather than just putting them everywhere. That's what I did there and there. My my scout here is he dropped. Oh, he found more titanium, a little bit of neutronium. So I dropped clans there to be able to produce some factories and eventually mines. So that the reptilians, so they're going to mine at double the rate. So I wanted to get some fuel out of that planet for large deep space freighters that are going to follow up. And my second scan picked up a bunch more natives, but I won't really get into those yet. I found a couple bovinoid planets, which was kind of cool. But I think that's about it for my 6th turn. So enjoy your night. Talk to you next time.